How's it going, everyone? My name is Alone Vault Wanderer, and welcome to Borderlands: The Definitive Story, the series where we will explore the main story of the original Borderlands game. In the last Definitive Story series, we covered BioShock in its entirety, and you can find the completed playlist for that series in the description below. Today, we will kick off with the very beginning of Borderlands and provide a comprehensive explanation of the game's setting, Pandora. If you go on to enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Borderlands: The Definitive Story, Part 1. Borderlands begins with an opening cinematic, narrated by arms dealer Marcus Kincaid. In this scene, Marcus is actually describing the game's story after it has already ended, as a form of foreshadowing of things to come. Because this cinematic sets the scene nicely for the rest of the game, let's hear what Marcus has to say first.
So, you want to hear a story, huh? One about treasure hunters. Have I got a story for you? Pandora. This is our home, but make no mistake, this is not a planet of peace and love. They say it's a wasteland, that it's dangerous, that only a fool would search for something of value here. Then perhaps I am a fool. But do not be fooled by what Pandora appears to be. There was a legend. Many people tell it. The legend of the Vault. My father would always go on about the Vault, even with his dying breath. Advanced alien technology, infinite wealth, fame, power, women. So you can understand why some little kiddos who hear the stories grow up to become Vault hunters. Well, I have a story you may not believe, but I tell you it is true. The legend of the Vault is real, and it is here on Pandora. And let's call her a guardian angel, appeared to guide the Vault hunters to their prize. The tale begins right here on Pandora with the brave Vault hunters, the guardian angel, and most importantly, me.
The planet that Marcus mentions here, Pandora, is indeed the setting of Borderlands, so it's only fitting that our first deep dive is into Pandora itself. Get ready, this is going to be a long one. Pandora is a desolate planet, upon which all manner of dangerous creature and enemy reside. Just some of these creatures include the likes of skags, Rakk, and spider ants, all of which typically attack on sight with little to no discrimination. Geographically, Pandora is quite diverse, featuring coastal areas, snowy mountains, deserts, and even volcanic regions, connected by barren ravines and also canyons. Although Pandora is not entirely absent of human life, as there are a number of settlements and groups that reside throughout. For instance, the Crimson Lance, a military outfit for the Atlas Corporation, established large bases across the planet across the time of their occupation. These encampments are well armored and protected, and the Crimson Lance themselves don't take too kindly to strangers. But Pandora also houses many player-neutral civilians that aren't quite as well fortified and are usually scrounging for resources, even though they have still managed to set up buildings with power and even businesses. Finally, living up to its high levels of crime, Pandora contains a raft of bandits, psychos, factions, and other crazed criminals that enjoy murder and looting as pastimes. The first Borderlands game mostly takes place on the east coast of Pandora, with some of the regions including the Arid Badlands, the Dahl Headlands, Rust Commons, and the Salt Flats. Within these regions exist major settlements such as Firestone, Janistown, New Haven, and Old Haven. Several of the settlements, such as Firestone, serve as hubs for the player character, where they can speak to the townspeople, begin missions, restock ammunition, purchase weapons, and even obtain vehicle transportation. In this deep dive, it's also important we cover some of the history of Pandora, as it does help provide context as to why the planet is in the state it is today. The aforementioned Atlas Corporation, a weapons manufacturer and arms dealer, first arrived on Pandora prior to the beginning of Borderlands in order to search for alien technology. Atlas did this because it previously found a supply of alien technology on another planet, Promethea, and it believed that Pandora would too have its own cache of alien tech. But even though Atlas turned up empty in their efforts here, rumor nevertheless spread that Pandora did actually supposedly contain alien technology in a location soon named the Vault. Due to the Vault's mysteriousness, it quickly turned into a legend that attracted even more people to the planet, all in hope of finding the contents of this supposed vault for themselves. The arrival of these many Vault Hunters on Pandora sprouted an entire economy dedicated to the discovery of the supposed vault. Weapon and ammo vending machines were constructed, Atlas employees began selling their own weapons, and a fast travel network was also created, enabling products and even people to be transported to other locations almost instantaneously. Sometime during this period, another weapons manufacturer, the Dahl Corporation, arrived on Pandora. While many others on Pandora were solely interested in alien technology, Dahl also saw something else of value: minerals. Indeed, there used to exist an abundance of minerals on the planet, including the dense element iridium, and Dahl quickly established Headstone Mine in order to take full advantage. The mining operation was quite successful, not just for Dahl, but also the entirety of Pandora's citizens, as it resulted in a surge of materials, products, and supplies that facilitated Pandora's growth and advancement. This included the establishment of outposts, refineries, and other facilities to treat the mined ore, and slave labor in the form of convicts were even brought to Pandora to expedite these efforts. Years later, but still prior to the events of the original Borderlands, a lady by the name of Patricia Tannis arrived on Pandora. She was an employee of Dahl sent to the planet in order to uncover details about the vault. We'll certainly discuss Tannis in more detail in later episodes, but for now, it'll suffice it to say that Tannis also helped establish the EchoNet on Pandora, a wireless communications network that could be connected to via the use of a HUD unit. These units were provided by Dahl Corporation to new arrivals on Pandora, even the player characters, and they enabled users to receive communications and transmissions of various sorts, including mission briefings and updates. Sometime after Tannis' arrival, a number of events occurred that led to many Vault Hunters and even the Dahl Corporation itself abandoning Pandora. Firstly, over the years, Pandora entered a very harsh summer season, causing some of the aforementioned creatures to emerge from their hibernation and feed on the populace. These dire conditions forced many Vault Hunters to leave Pandora, but this wasn't quite the reason for Dahl's departure. During its mining operation of Headstone Mine, Dahl discovered something, but quickly covered it up. It is suspected that this item that was found was a key fragment to Pandora's vault, and somehow this discovery affected the convict workers, as they went crazy and underwent various sorts of physical mutations, with some being shrunken to a smaller size and others rapidly growing in size and muscular structure. It is these convicts that are now known as Psychos, one of the main enemies in Borderlands, and because of this, Dahl soon became unable to control the Psychos. Additionally, after word of the Vault Key's discovery reached Atlas, Atlas sent a large detachment of the Crimson Lands to Pandora. And given that Atlas held the larger force of the two corporations, Dahl would certainly face its doom if it remained. So, due to these two contributing factors, Dahl had to cease mining operations and completely leave Pandora behind, without even bothering to take most of its mining equipment. Dahl's departure had detrimental effects on Pandora, leaving hundreds of workers unemployed, which also impacted their families. Patricia Tannis was also left behind, as she was told by Dahl to simply cease her work. Although at this stage, Tannis was so intent on finding the vault that she disobeyed her orders, which may have been part of the reason that Dahl Corporation cut her funding. So Tannis had to turn to bandits in order to continue her work as a result. Of course, the former convicts turned psychos were also left behind, and they began to run rampant over Pandora, scavenging as much equipment as possible from former Dahl guards to form new gangs and factions. But even given their psychotic nature, these psychos were not completely without order and structure. Each faction was typically run by a leader of sorts, and they controlled different regions across Pandora. One such leader, Sledge, took possession of the discovered vault key, and then headquartered at the aforementioned Headstone Mine with a very large army. They then set out to discover even more vault key fragments, and another such fragment was eventually discovered by Tannis herself, but this key was soon taken away by another bandit leader, Crom. So with all of these bandit groups in play, and the Crimson Lance under the leadership of Commandant Steele, who were intent on obtaining the Vault Key fragments for themselves, we finally reach the point in time in Borderlands where 4 new Vault Hunters arrive on Pandora in a bus driven by Marcus. And, as explained by Marcus himself, a guardian angel suddenly appears to guide the Vault Hunters to their prize. But all of that will be covered in the next episode. Thank you for watching this episode of Borderlands: The Definitive Story. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Your support truly means a lot. Also, give a big thank you to all of those who contributed to Borderlands wiki site run by Fandom, which is linked in the description below, as the information contained there helped me immensely with the script for this video. So until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.